Hey everyone, just before we start, I got some merch on sale, metathreads.com/datto. It's available until the 28th. Please go buy some. It'd be really cool if you did. Thanks.
Can we talk about Arbalest for a second? ERIANA'S VOW who? Arbalest just went from not bad to top tier option in Master and GM Nightfalls. We gotta talk about this. What happened? Arbalest got anti-barrier as an intrinsic perk, finally. You know, Bungie said it was going to happen a while ago. It also got a catalyst that gives it Genesis, which admittedly is not as big of a deal, but still good. And it already has Disruption Break as a base perk. Is this really all it took to send Arbalest into the S tier of weaponry for champion-based activities? Yes. That's all it took. So what are the advantages of Arbalest over ERIANA'S VOW, you may ask? Well, for starters, in Season 15, it's a linear fusion. So, you know, particle deconstruction. But the main benefit is its ability to bring down a barrier from a champion in a single shot. One shot. That's it. 100 to 0. Not only that, but you're proccing Disruption Break. Now, not many things in Season 15 are taking advantage of Disruption Break. Arbalest itself is probably going to get the most benefit because there's not a ton of kinetic weapon usage going on right now in terms of champion killing. Maybe the rare sniper here and there, but that's really about it. No one is using primary weapons to deal damage to champions when it actually matters. The only time you're really doing it is to get it low enough to finish, or if your entire team is using bows to slowly plink-plonk and overload something to death. But when you break with Arbalest, those follow-up shots are going to hit 50% harder. Example damage on a knight in a GM, 17,776 damage pre-shield pop. Post-shield pop, it's 26,664, and that's without particle. No particle. ERIANA'S VOW, on the other hand, 3 shots to kill a shield. ERIANA'S VOW also lives and dies by the crit. Missing a crit means a significant loss of damage until you reload or you just wait a little bit while aiming down sights. ERIANA'S VOW and Arbalest fill very, very similar roles in that they're both pretty good mid-range, jack-of-all-trades kind of weapons. Good ranged damage, barrier break, and shield break capabilities. Oh, speaking of shield break capability, Arbalest. We're still talking about Arbalest. Arbalest's actual perk causes massive damage to shields, which means you more or less get to completely disregard elemental shield requirements. Am I still going to recommend you bring proper elements to GMs? Yes, I am. But is equipping Arbalest a good idea when you need to worry about a lot of shields? Yes, it is. DPS-wise, Arbalest is going to be winning here. Arbalest takes about 5 seconds, 4.85, but let's say 5 to fire 5 shots. And when shots fired equals seconds required to shoot those shots, our DPS is the damage number. In this case, 17,776 on a GM champion. ERIANA'S VOW is 9,384 damage per shot at a rate of 1.5 shots per second, which is just over 14,000. If we use the optimal timing, which is starting the timer on the very first frame of the first shot and ending on the last shot, like I did for Arbalest, we can fire 9 shots in 5.4 seconds, which is 15,640. So DPS-wise, Arbalest definitely gets an edge, but at least it's somewhat close, right? Here's the thing. Arbalest's damage potential increases, while ERIANA'S VOW is always at risk of a potential decrease. And yes, I'm assuming that you're always going to crit. Arbalest can proc Disruption Break on any shielded target, while ERIANA'S VOW relies on crits to stay relevant and can only reliably break solar shields. And again, this doesn't even factor in particle deconstruction for the rest of Season 15. So Arbalest is even better in Season 15 and will still be very good in Season 16, barring any ridiculous mods or any sort of tuning to the weapon. Here's another thing, weapon selection. Arbalest gets to create a lot of power in what is typically a weak weapon slot when it comes to GM content. Hell, the past 2 seasons, the kinetic slot has been used solely to stun champions, and then you just kind of swap back to your grenade launcher, your fusion rifle to actually deal damage. Having Arbalest in that slot gives a big overall power boost to your entire kit because the energy slot has a good amount of primary and energy weapons. It doesn't feel like you're just wasting a slot on a gun that you're barely going to use. Granted, running double special or something is a little rare, but being able to use, for example, an elemental bow over a kinetic bow is nice because, you know, you get an element. I guess it's mainly for the element. We're running double special. Maybe, okay, I'm overselling this a little bit, I guess. But I still think it's a nice little bonus to running Arbalest. How about catalysts? ERIANA'S VOW has a very good catalyst, auto-loading, and extra shots. Arbalest gets Genesis, which, you know, is just kind of a nice boost to an already good thing that it has going. So, point to ERIANA'S there, I guess. But, if you don't have it already, ERIANA'S VOW Catalyst takes forever to do. The Catalyst for Arbalest is just dropping randomly from core activities. I don't know if it's rare. I don't actually have it yet, but I know that after running 6 Grandmasters the other day, I did not get it to drop, so I'm guessing it doesn't drop there because I feel like Bungie doesn't really make the random drop Catalyst very rare. Easily completed with a 0 chi checkpoint, but the good thing about the Arbalest Catalyst is that while it's nice to have, it's not necessary at all for success, whereas ERIANA'S VOW Catalyst is much more needed for success. I mean, the evidence is clear. I hate to see ERIANA'S VOW go down like this, but it's really tough to refute the evidence. What is Borealis even gonna do now? Like, maybe during Season 13 it had some viability, but now it's like, as Borealis, like, what do you even do? Like, imagine you're Borealis and some other gun gets intrinsic anti-barrier, shield destruction without needing to change your element, disruption break to benefit itself, and Genesis as a bonus. Like, what do you even do? The main thing I'm worried about is a potential monopoly. Arbalest being so good that it becomes a why would you use anything else kind of weapon, because it does really appear at first glance to be that strong. I do think that part of it is that auto rifle anti-barrier this season, season 15, is just terrible. So maybe if we got like anti-barrier scout, there won't be as much pressure to use it in that season. You know, I'm not too sure right now. It has a chance of being a season by season basis kind of tool in your kit, but for season 15, you should have one of these in your team at least one in anything that requires anti-barrier. That's Arbalest, everybody. Sorry, ERIANA'S VOW, but Arbalest is currently crushing it. Thank you very much for watching. Buy some merch. I'll see you next time.